Hi, Dave Etchells here from Imaging Resource. It's a couple of days before the PMA 2008 photo show in Las Vegas, and I'm here to tell you about a couple of new products from Sony. You know, the Sony engineers have been working overtime this last year. Back in the fall, they introduced the A700, which was a top-of-the-line 12-megapixel digital SLR with a lot of advanced enthusiast-oriented features. And then at CES, they introduced the A200, which was a 10-megapixel entry-level model. Well, now for PMA, they're introducing not one but two new models, the A300 and the A350, which I have one of here in my hand. These are very similar cameras, almost identical except for the sensor. The A300 has a 10-megapixel chip in it, and the A350 has a 14-megapixel. What's unique about these new cameras is that they incorporate a live view function. This is a first for Sony in their SLR line, and we'll talk a little bit about how Sony has implemented it. Compared to the last Sony camera we tested, the A700, the A350 and its brother, the A300, are a little bit smaller, they're a bit lighter, a bit more ergonomically designed. I think they fit the hand pretty well, particularly if you have a smaller hand size. It also comes with an 18 to 70 millimeter kit lens, and I like the feel of this lens a lot. Kit lenses tend to be very cheaply made and have kind of a plasticky feel to them when you're working them, but the zoom operation on this is very smooth. We haven't tested the optical performance yet, but I really like the feel of it a lot. It doesn't have an aperture ring, which is pretty common on kit lenses these days. It's just one more thing that would cost money in the manufacturing. But it does have a manual focus adjustment in the front. And this manual focus ring, you actually have a fair bit of travel on it, so you can focus it pretty accurately manually. Sony tells us that the A350 also has an improved autofocus system. A higher torque motor can move the lens elements more quickly. Sony says this gives them a focusing time that's 1.7 times faster than that of the A100. One of the changes I like about the A350 is the LCD on the back panel. It's the same height as the one on the A700, but the A350's is much wider. That's great because it fits the wider frame of SLR photography much better. Another great feature of the A350's LCD is that it tilts. This is important because, being a live view camera, this LCD can work as your viewfinder. So when you're shooting at ground level, you can tilt the LCD up and look down on it, or you can hold the camera over your head and tilt the LCD down. Here's another feature I like about Sony's LCDs on their SLRs. When you rotate the camera, the readout on the LCD rotates to match, so you can always read what's on it. Sony's taken a very different approach with their live view function though. Rather than raise the mirror and use the camera's main sensor to generate the live view image, they've added another CCD inside the viewfinder housing to generate the live image. You select it by moving the switch next to the viewfinder that raises the mirror and diverts the light to the live view sensor. The advantage of this approach is that when you go to take the picture, the mirror is already in the down position, so the camera's autofocus system works normally and it can take the picture very quickly. It doesn't have to drop the mirror, autofocus, and raise it again like many other cameras do. So there you have it, the Sony A300 and A350. These cameras are coming soon, the A350 first in mid-March. It'll sell in two configurations, body only for $799 or body plus lens for $899. The A300 will sell in a single configuration, body plus lens for $799.